I'm Sidney Irwin, a PhD candidate at Central Queensland University, and I'm here today to talk about trash talk in esports. Why trash talk? Well, that's because it provides an opportunity to investigate how behaviours and norms are discussed, established, and impact certain communities. You see, esports is both a social and competitive environment where spectators congregate together to watch their favourite professional player or team compete. Whilst previous research has highlighted the consumptive needs of reasons why people watch esports, it has also acknowledged the use of public online forums as an effective medium for fans to gather, discuss, and debate relevant topics in a given scene. However, these topics are often divisive on what behaviour diminishes or enhances the community experience. One example of a contentious practice is trash talk. Whilst esports are governed by detailed rules and regulations across specific games, trash talk is more known to be governed by opaque rules and social norms. Yet, whereas the boundaries and attitudes towards trash talk differ across various conventional sports and video game communities, research into the perspectives of trash talk in esports is currently very limited. Using online public forums as a primary source of research, we wanted to investigate what governs community perceptions of trash talking in esports. Now, the world of esports is a vast landscape full of different genres of video games, including RTS, MOBA, Battle Royale, and fighting games. So, to be more specific in this research, we decided to focus on one genre of esports, the first-person shooter. Also, we then decided to choose 3 FPS esports to focus on, which are CSGO, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege. Why these 3? Well, simply put, they're the 3 most popular FPS esports at the time of data collection. But how can we start to research community perceptions of trash talk across 3 different esports? What online forum serves as a good form of information media where consumers can gather and discuss themes relevant to these esports? Simple. Reddit. Reddit is a network of communities where people gather to discuss news, videos, photos, and other links relevant to a core group or theme. Here, these subreddits were chosen due to their popularity among esports consumers and their accessibility without the use of password or additional login access. Using a systematic approach, we started to gather quotes, statements, and responses in these Reddit threads. For ethical consideration, this study did 2 things. 1, it only tamed data from previous forum postings. Thus, we did not purposely start a forum to elicit comments. And secondly, the comments, as well as the year it was posted, were the only details obtained for data collection. Other information, including the usernames of consumers, were redacted during data analysis. Adopting methods from previous forum-based research, we began our approach by entering key terms into the subreddit search engine. Using previous literature, we started with these search terms. However, during data collection, unique jargon associated with trash talk was also used within these communities, so we added them to the search as well. Now, in order to gather comments relevant to the topic of trash talk, we also formulated an exclusion method to remove off-topic discussions. These include harassment towards other users, memes and jokes, deleted or non-English comments, and other discussions such as player statistics, team performance, tournament productions, and random conversations such as this one here, which debates whether semi-annually means once every 2 years or twice in the same year. Just Reddit, man. But with all this said and done, we gathered a total of 1,724 comments across all 3 esports communities. Then it was on to data analysis. A simple, straightforward, but tedious process which makes you question your life choices. Using NVivo, all the data was coded through descriptive coding. Simply put, coding consisted of highlighting sections of the text and coming up with shorthand labels, or codes, to form a condensed overview of the main points that recur throughout the data. We did this across all the comments we collected. Every single one. After this, we looked over the codes we created, gathered them together, and started to identify patterns to create key themes. To do this, a constant comparative method was adopted through thematic analysis. We did this process of the codes to uncover and formulate overarching definitions and elements associated with trash talk. Now, to show you an overview of the results would give you a mind map which looks something like this. But for the rest of this presentation, I'll divide the results into 5 main themes. Bear in mind that the following results are preliminary and are just a basic summary of everything collected. We aim to discuss these findings further in future publications. Now, onto the results. The first form of results are simply the actual forms of trash talk the community witnessed in esports. These can include trash talking on social media, trash talking interviews, and trash talking during the match, including BMing, using in-game chat rooms, and the traditional shouting, pop-offs, and obscene hand gestures. On Reddit, these forms of trash talk were typically the opening thread, starting points, or examples of conversation, and served as a base for the rest of themes found in the study. The second theme identified the social norms of trash talk in the community. It is these discussions where fans talk about factors which determine whether an act of trash talk was appropriate or inappropriate in a given situation. Say the community watches a single incident of trash talk. Every now and again, we observe some standard normative rules, such as how a professional player can trash talk before and during the match, but must also show respect for the opposite team when the game is over. However, it was the overarching context that was an important aspect of discussion. The who, what, when, where, and why behind the act. Take all of this and also believe how one act can properly represent and define a sub-form of trash talk, such as being banter or lighthearted humour, taunts, sarcasm or mocking, or toxicity, the spiteful, more negative and aggressive behaviour. The community takes all of these concepts, apply it to a single case of trash talk, and use them to analyse and open up debates and discussions on the acceptability or unacceptability of its use. Though these spectators reflect on social norms, it is also evident that the attitudes towards trash talk are also guided by individual values and beliefs. These are more of a personal bias whether esports fans either enjoy or disapprove seeing trash talk in a professional scene. Now, I'm only going to go over just brief but common arguments witnessed during data collection. For example, it was common to see a debate whether the competitive nature of esports is similar to that of conventional sports. Previous literature has emphasized the use of trash talk in traditional sports. Thus, spectators believe it should be no surprise that it's evident in a high-pressure, adrenaline-inducing environment such as esports. There were also reflections of one's personal experience of trash talk when playing online, and how they believe that trash talk can be rather toxic and unappealing to their viewership. On the other hand, though, people on Reddit would admire the use of trash talk as a form of entertainment, and how it promotes hype for the match. Yet, as with conventional sports, these communities also discuss social identification and fandom within esports teams, and how fans would express a favourite view of trash talk if it was directed or exchanged by a professional player who they admired. This, in turn, led to discussions about the formation of drama and witch hunts, leading fans to form divisions within a community. Again, this is just an overview, yet these debates are interesting as they show how diverse the community can be dependent on the individual perceptions of trash talk. So, if the community looks at personal reasons why they enjoy or disapprove seeing trash talk, they have also contemplated reasons why individual professional players do or do not engage in trash talk. In brief, these views look at the multicultural and professional environment of esports. For instance, a professional player who speaks English as a second language may not trash talk due to language barriers or perhaps a cultural clash. Players may not engage in trash talk due to past incidences where it has damaged the organisation or player's reputation, and there's also game developer influence, when the creator of the game or the tournament organiser has implemented rules of acts associated with trash talking. But these are all just looking at the social environment of esports. What about some more personal attributes of professional players? These last set of results focus on the given personas of professional players, and how this formulates exciting narratives in esports, how some are the villains of the esports scene, yet also show a generous side to them outside of the game. These hero versus villain narratives promote rivalries between esports teams and develop story arcs, which can continue across tournaments. So those were the main findings of our research. Again, this was all just a basic overview of our results, and I wish I had more time to discuss them in further detail. But although they are preliminary, we hope that these findings can be used to guide future research to triangulate and broaden the understanding of trash talk in esports. Thanks for watching. If you're interested about following more about this research, you can follow me at Twitter. I'll also give a shout out to my supervisors who are helping me in my PhD project.